what are the best and worst features about CTR Nitro Fueled in general now that the game's done effectively? We don't see anything being patched anymore, especially not stuff like the online. I don't think that's going to get fixed if it hasn't already. So let's talk about the best features and the worst features. Do you want to start off with the best features or the worst features of the game?
I think we can like go back and forth.
One of each.
Okay.
A good, a bad, a good, a bad.
Okay, let's do that then. Let us do that. Do you want me to start?
I mean, I can start.
You can go for it, Kay. And what's
All right?
what's...
So the best feature is free updates.
Yeah,
9 months of free updates.
that was
with
pretty
lots of new content.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about microtransactions in a little bit. In fact, we can do that as one of the contrasting features, like one of the cons. But the fact that you essentially got 8 tracks, God knows how many characters it ended up being, God knows how many skins, how many carts, all for essentially for free. If you had the time to grind it out, you didn't have to spend a penny on anything.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible, especially for a company like Activision, which is well known for season passes. I think it's pretty, especially comparing it to like Mario Kart 8, because Mario Kart 8 you had to pay for its DLC back in the day, and you ended up paying for like, I think you paid for like, you got more tracks obviously in the Mario Kart 8, but
you literally paid for character slots that were just skins in Mario Kart. Like Tanuki Mario is just a skin.
Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach, and those were pretty.
Oh, but you're telling me fixed Rillaroo isn't just a skin?
I'd pay for that.
You had to pay. Yeah, you didn't have to. Yeah, I'd pay for it.
I'd pay for that any day.
Right, because let's quickly talk about microtransactions as a con. Right. Before that, I have got a message from a friend called Dan here who wanted an opinion, and this is thrown to the chat. This is thrown to you guys, so you guys can answer this. If you want to ask us any questions about anything, you can get in contact with us. Just add us on Twitter, use the hashtag HotGamersOnly, and hey, if you're actually listening, we might read it on the show. So yeah, he asks, hey guys, does the inclusion of microtransactions ruin all of the free updates that they added? I feel like looking back on it now, and just if I was to just buy the game at this moment, there'd be a lot of grinding and it would be more... Oh God, that's a really bad sentence. Basically what he's trying to say is, do you think that if you're hopping into the game right now, that the microtransactions would be a big deterrent because of the amount of content that's in the pit stop? That's essentially what he's trying to say.
So this question is perfect for me to answer because I did hop into the game at the end.
Yeah.
So, in all honesty, now whilst the microtransactions are there and you don't really need it per se to enjoy the game. I don't find that unlocking all the skins and the wheels, the cart body parts and whatnot, I don't find any of that to be like the main part of the game for me, but it is nice to have there, and it's really good that it is free. I don't think the microtransactions bring it down whatsoever. If you really care about unlocking everything like that, though, then I guess maybe it could probably hamper your experience a little bit, but I really doubt it. I think the game overall is just really enjoyable and you can get past it. And because I've been playing for hours on end with this game, and I've already unlocked a fair amount. Yeah, I just.
So, would you say that do you feel the game pressures you into spending money on it?
No, I wouldn't say so.
Because obviously, if I was to look at my pit stop right now, it's empty. So
I still got stuff in there.
Yeah, would you say that it's overwhelming, or would you say that, hey, if you just play the game for the game and unlock what you want? Okay, so there you go.
Because there's a lot of stuff that like you don't need to buy, paint jobs and stuff. That's just like that's ugly.
And the characters don't take long to unlock either, really, because they're only 1,500,
1,500, yeah.
Yeah.
I also just want to throw out that also that the microtransactions are incredibly overpriced, so that kind of puts you off in general anyway.
Yeah, you only get like 10,000 Wumpa coin for $100 or something, or is it 10?
No, it's not. No, it's. I'll check the.
But
store.
Either way, like you don't get much with the Nitro transaction or the Wumpa
Nitro transaction.
Microtransactions. There we go.
Yeah.
I just love how they try to swindle their way in your pockets by being like, get a bonus
Plus,
10,000.
it wasn't even an
You can
initial
fit,
feature. It was
yeah,
like the second or third GP where they added that. I feel like
40,000 Wumpa coins are around $30.
yeah, like
Pack
that's
that.
not much.
It's not worth it. That's not even a GP's worth of
Like
content.
how much content is in the pit stop in terms of total coin price? I feel like
Well,
it's definitely over 1 million. I feel like,
each GP was roughly around 70k, and then they just added an extra 140k, and then there was already 200k in the pit stop beforehand. So there's a lot. There's a lot. It's
yeah,
over a
it's
million.
around 1 million at least.
Yeah.
So
So
if you're buying 40 the K for $30, that's not gonna go very far.
But yeah, so there we go. I just play the game and enjoy it. But yeah, I'd say that microtransactions. Do you think that people overreacted Kane when microtransactions were added into the game?
Yeah, people were freaking out, but it was I don't know. It was one of those things where it already felt like you had already been predicting it from when the game dropped that they were going to add it just because of how much grinding there was
I've been
required to
saying to
unlock stuff.
everyone, yeah, I've been saying on stream to everyone day one, I was like, if you want to get on top of this, get on top of this now because this is going to be microtransactions
But it
eventually.
ended up not being that
Whoops.
egregious of transactions. So
Yeah, my whole thing is at the end of the day, it it's not in a way. It's there's no pay to win, especially now that engine swaps a thing. The only way that you could have argued that it was pay to win was without engine swaps because you wouldn't have access to as many speed characters or whatever. You'd have to unlock a speed character, go out of your way to. Because I think the only speed character, oh no, you could play as Dingo or whatever. But in terms of a speed run, yeah, it'd be kind of. But when they added engine swaps, just play who you want. Just buy the characters. You also can now. There's a feature where you can refresh your pit stop if you don't like what you're seeing twice a day. So if you don't like what you're seeing, swap it up. So yeah. Jack, what's one of your best features that you think that they added to Nitro Fueled?
Let me have a look for a second. I think Ring Rally was one of the best things, in my opinion. Obviously, when I started the game, it was already there for me, but finding out that that was a game mode that they added and playing it I was kind of amazed at how just fun it was.
My thing with Ring Rally is I'm surprised that no one has kind of done that. They haven't done that before in a Crash Racer.
Yeah.
It felt right at home, straight away. It felt like, oh, this feels like it could have been in the original CTR. It feels like a
Legit
well thought
thought it
out
was in the
game
game
out.
at the beginning.
Yeah,
yeah,
which it
but it's a
wasn't.
really good way to just kind of grind coin on your own. So
Yeah, it's a good addition. And I guess, Seaman, you're talking, Jack. Why don't we talk about the Switch version of the game as one of the cons? Obviously, it's nice to have the Switch version. It's nice to have a portable version of the game, but I think Jack's the best to kind of explain what the problems are with the Switch version.
So I held off on getting the PS4 version for a bit because I work, and it was nice to have to play on the go sometimes. Then I thought, you know what, some of my friends have it on Switch, it'll be fine. So I'll list over three things I think that are probably the worst things about it. So the first thing being is the friend system on the Switch just doesn't work. Flat
Very
out
true.
doesn't work. You have to I don't know if it's something to do with Nintendo or if it's something to do with how the game was ported over, but for some reason you can't join friends lobbies unless you change your actual tag to have an A or a B at the beginning of it, which is really it's fucked up. I hate
Yeah.
it. So that was the first thing I hated. Second thing I hated definitely has to be the game's optimization. It's poor. That's putting it lightly. When I started the game up on Switch version, the opening cutscene lagged so much the game nearly froze. I'm not even joking. The adventure mode cutscene was just taking shits everywhere. It was frame dropping left and right. The cutscene was nearly desynced from the voice actors. I was gobsmacked, and this was docked. This wasn't portable. This was when it was docked.
Cool.
Third least favorite thing is it just doesn't look as nice on the Switch version at all.
It's
Especially,
extremely blurry.
it's
yeah,
a
it
lower
has.
resolution, right?
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's 720p docked.
I think it's 720p docked. But
it has like a massive blur filter over it.
yeah, a lot of the textures just don't look great. Like Cocoa Park looks awful.
Yeah, really bad, like extremely bad,
Yeah.
to the point where it's basically ugly.
Yeah.
So
So I think if I was to recommend the Switch version to like someone, I think get it if you really want to test the game out and you don't have time. Otherwise, if you have a PlayStation 4 and you have time to play the game and you enjoy the Crash series, I'd say just buy it on the PS4 version.
yeah, there's a lot bigger difference between the PS4 version and the Switch version of CTR than there is of Insane.
Yeah.
Insane's a lot more playable on Switch than Nitro Fueled, in my opinion, anyway.
No, I can see that.
So yeah, one of my favorite features of the game is, let's just talk about it in general, the character roster.
Yeah, like the
fact
original
that we have,
character roster was nice.
the fact that we went all the way up to so far is 56 characters
Yeah, they
in
just
Crash
kept
Team
adding.
Racing Nitro Fueled. And it's not like a Mario Kart character roster where half of them are the same character. For the most part, apart from like a couple of baby characters, a majority of them are
Unique.
like their own characters, unique characters, which is
Except for the
crazy.
baby characters and Fixed Gorilla Room.
Oh no, Fixer is his own character, dude.
He's a good feature.
Yeah,
I've got no complaints there, though. It's
he's the
great.
best feature, dude. He's the best feature that they fix Rillaroo.
It's a hot meme.
Yeah, dude. I love Rillaroo. My favorite part is someone that I can't remember who pointed it out. I think it was Matt that pointed it out to me. Was now that there's two Rillaroos, you have a percentage chance in local races that two bots will be Rillaroo. So you'll have two Rillaroos in your game. That's the only character that can do that now. I'm like, oh, that's great. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, I think the character I think it just shows that Beanox really did care about this game, especially with the post-game content, because the amount of time and effort they've put into the character roster is like incredible. I don't think anyone was expecting people like characters like Megamix to show up, or people were joking with like Yaya Panda and stuff like this. They really went out of their way. They went to the bottom of the barrel and went, hey, which characters can we add? I mean, they keep looking at Twinsanity and then turning over and going, ooh, cool. Look, there's a Crash mobile game. Let's go from that one instead of Twinsanity.
I just don't think they like recognizing that game sometimes.
But Megamix is just a whole. It's like a Twinsanity reference because it's Engine's Battleship, and you've got
Yeah,
Rusty the Walrus's
Rusty the Walrus
imprint on it
reference.
and stuff like that. But there's no Twinsanity reps other than Nina, but Nina technically appeared in other games beforehand. Just
She
because
appeared in a Game Boy game before, I think.
beforehand, yeah, technically. So yeah, the character roster's pretty great. Worst feature. Let's talk about those load times.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I was kind of ready to talk about
bad.
that.
God, are they bad?
Especially like if you're trying to do another race with someone, if you're online and racing and you want to do another round of the same track, and you have to sit through a load screen and then watch the cup
Podium.
thing, and the podium, and then you got to sit through another load screen, and these are like 1 minute loads when it's just you and one other person. Well, two other if you do podium, but still.
I definitely despise the fact that the game has to take so long to just load the podium.
You spend more time loading and waiting in lobbies than you do racing if you're playing online because of the load times.
And the thing is, like,
especially in,
online
matchmaking, you'll spend 5 minutes to do a 1.5 minute track.
Yeah, I really wish they did do a load time patch like they did with NST back on PS4.
Agreed.
Because it really needs it. And I don't know if it's just because they're running Alchemy, which is what NST was on, so the load so it's already known for having long load times. But I don't see why they haven't thought about patching it.
My favorite feature with the Switch version was just how the game would sometimes soft lock because it was loading shit badly. It's not fun.
It just gives up.
It genuinely gave up on me about 5 times. It just closed the software because of an error, and I was like, wow, okay, thanks. I've got to go through another 10 minutes of load screens.
The PS4 version did that at first a few times, but I think I don't know. I think they fixed the performance errors as they went.
I got an error yesterday actually playing on PS4.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know
It's an
what caused
Activision
it.
classic, dude. It's an Activision classic. If an Activision game launches and doesn't blue screen, then it's not an Activision game. It's just the fact like Black Ops 4 blue screen central, CTR at launch blue screened like hell.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, it blue screens a lot. Yeah, load times in general. Like the game is a stable frame rate and stuff like that. At least on PS4, not on Switch, but on PS4 it is. But the load times really should be fixed by now. Do you want to talk? Let's talk about the controls quickly in terms of the best feature.
Yeah.
I think the controls. I know there'll be a lot of purists out there that'll be like, "Oh, the original CTR's controls are perfect," and no other Crash game will ever have as great controls as the original CTR. In my opinion, I think this is the best feeling Crash racing game in terms of controls. In my opinion,
I'd agree.
just
I haven't really played any others other than the original CTR, but yeah, I don't know. This feels
Yeah,
good.
I'm pretty much the same.
because I just think the whole Sacred Fire and Ultra Sacred Fire in the original CTR were more of a glitch than an intended feature.
Well, it's not clear. Well, in this, it's clear.
Whereas in this game, it's extremely clear that it was intended, and they made it work well. Like they've made tracks around it, and it works well. I think U-turning, as annoying as U-turning is to learn, I think U-turning is really great, and I'm glad that they never patched that and instead just catered into it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the great things that Beanox has done is they saw people were using Blue Fire they saw U-turns, and obviously U-turns were not intentional originally. I don't think anyway personally that the U-turns were intentional, but instead of patching it out, they were like, okay, let's make our tracks utilize it instead. And
Could
then
you imagine
let's
playing
make
Drives
the
for Danger
downtime.
without U-turns?
Yeah, well, I don't think
that
Drive for
track
Danger
that
would
track
be.
would literally not exist the way it is if it didn't.
Yeah,
have
I don't think it
U-turns.
would. I don't think if it was for U-turns that I think that track would be completely different. But yeah, I just think the controls are really great. So that's one thing. Let's talk about the
Battle
do
mode.
you want to talk about battle mode? Okay, let's talk about
Worst
battle mode.
feature. Actual worst feature. Battle mode. Let's
Worst
be real.
feature that isn't a problem. Yeah,
Yeah, like worst non-functioning issue.
yeah. Worst functioning
Bad.
issue.
Like, who wants to play battle mode?
Nobody. It was dead. It's never been alive. The online battle mode.
Like
They
they
turned off.
GPs, they would do that one stupid thing that was like win a battle mode without getting hit, and like people would straight up just disconnect upon getting hit. It was so dumb.
Yeah. I honestly, you could tell me right now that they'd be like, "Hey, Ethan, the battle mode. Not only are the battle mode servers for the online down, but they haven't been up for 3 months." You could tell me that, and I could believe you because I wouldn't even know. Like, that's the thing. It's the most useless feature. The only time I've ever used battle mode is with 2 controllers
Same.
to exploit Nitro.
Yep.
One thing I want to talk about with battle mode specifically is how I just don't think the items in the game don't really work around it at all. I just don't think
Yeah,
the items are that interesting enough to be, in a battle mode.
yeah, they're not really that
Some
interesting.
of them are very debilitating, and so you just get wrecked, and then others are like useless.
Or like
Yeah.
the eyes that just turn you invisible. Which,
And then, like placing a vial in battle mode is pretty worthless. Like, give me a missile.
Oh, and the TNT as well. Yeah, the TNT is completely useless because they're all flat. Like the majority of the rings are just flat
Yeah.
surfaces, so everyone can just hop perfectly fine and just get them off. So yeah, battle mode. I get. Obviously, they added it just because it was in the original, and I appreciate that they did it for the 2 people that like battle mode. But I've personally never played a legitimate game of battle mode in that game in my life.
Same. And it's not even like balanced in terms of like coin outplay. Like, there's no reason to play it.
There genuinely isn't. In fact, they nerfed the coin output because people are using it to abuse Wumpa grind.
Turbo controllers.
Yeah. So yeah, that's battle mode. I guess some of the last things that I want to talk about is one, they did a great job on adventure mode in general. I think it translated really well. They did a good job. There's there's nothing that I feel like they really messed up on. If anything, like the one thing that we'll say is Uka Uka's voice. What?
Oh my
Who
god.
got Uka Uka's voice actor to say it like that?
The thing is, original CTR's Uka Uka was similar, so was it not?
Yeah, but not like that.
Fair.
But the thing that I question is they got Uka Uka's voice right in NST. So what happened in the year and a half gap? I don't know.
He listened to some. I don't know, man. He listened to like some
He
surfer guy.
became a chain smoker, dude. Like honestly, like I don't know what happened to him, but rip his voice. But no, Adventure Mode they did a really good job of as a whole. I really enjoyed the added difficulties that they added. Hard mode seemed impossible at first, but it's a nice challenge
And you
now.
get good, and it's not too
And
bad.
when you get good, yeah, I remember people
When I
saying,
first started, like I literally only played CTR one time. So like I'm over there on normal trying to beat Crash Cove, and I picked a turning character, and I couldn't
"Ooh,
win. And then someone was like, "Switch characters," and I finally was able to beat the stupid race.
yeah,
That's so bad. But now I just beat all the cups on hard mode, first try, easy. So
Yeah, I didn't
it
have any
definitely has a
particular
good
issues with
ramping of
adventure mode when I
difficulty.
first started out. I don't know why that is. I think I was kind of lucky and I picked up the game kind of quick. And there was a lot of information on the game on picking it up, so I was kind of lucky in that regard when picking it up. But when I boot up hard mode, I was taken aback a little bit by like how stupid the AI can be.
yeah,
And I've seen reviews of like really bad reviews of people saying, "Wow, this game's unplayable on hard mode." Like, and these people are like not even like drift boosting, and it's just like, why are you,
why are you
why
bothering?"
are you allowed
Yeah.
to make reviews?
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, that was cool. Shall we quickly touch on the online bad
Uh,
features? Bad. You kind of mentioned it in load times,
yeah.
but my god, does it take forever to get a lobby in this game?
Well,
And
not
sometimes
only
the
does
lobby
it
doesn't even
take
load.
forever to like queue up, but then your lobby just breaks when someone leaves,
It's the host
and
that leaves, I think.
Yeah,
yeah,
if the host leaves, it kills the lobby.
no host migration,
Yeah,
and it's just it takes for you'll be sitting there 5-10 minutes for a single race to start. And also, didn't they start doing skill based matchmaking? So anytime I played in the group with Matt, we'd get in the sweatiest lobbies ever, like
yeah.
eighth place every time. And then I go online by myself. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna get blue flame and front run.
Yeah, my thing with skill based matchmaking is it's like sometimes I can tell it's either the skill based matchmaking it isn't. Oh, we're really close every time. It's either it's worked or it really didn't. Because it will either be oh everyone's spamming items and everyone's doing blue flame and it's annoying, or it's oh this is a breeze, everyone's terrible. Someone's just headbutting a wall in the corner, not doing anything. Like this is how bad the lobby is. Like
Or someone disconnects and all
and
the characters start butting the
they
wall,
do,
driving
yeah,
in
they do the
circles.
circle of death. Dude. They do the circle of death.
It's like, no, I'm trying to go first to last. I need you to not just drive into the wall. Duke.
Yeah, doink, doink, doink. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's a lot of problems in the online. My favorite problem is when you get into a lobby, you think, "Oh, great, the race has started." So you sit there
Oh,
with
and
your
it
40-second
freezes.
load screen. No, you sit there with the 40-second load screen, and either the two that are my favorite are you sit on the starting line for a solid 2 minutes until the person that has the connection issue leaves,
Or you give up.
or the second one is you go all the way through that load screen and you just get loaded, and on the frame you load, and it's like aborting race, failed to
Yeah.
start, not enough players or whatever. You're like, oh my god, and then you have to sit through another 40-second load screen to then re-queue up.
And if you accidentally click online, you have to sit through the load screen to get to the main menu, just to leave, which then you sit through
Yeah,
another
I've done
load
that one
screen.
before. I've done that one
Yeah,
before.
it's
Oh,
pretty bad.
it's so bad.
Yeah, pretty bad. So yeah, online really did need work. It's never going to be fixed now,
But
but
my favorite still has to be when it freezes after you load in and it just
oh
sits
yeah.
there and there's no like wait for the person to disconnect. No, it's like you have to leave.
You have to leave. Yeah, everyone's just sitting there spamming their engine. It's like, no, leave. You have to leave. Yeah. um, quickly then, let's finally touch upon the good and bad bonus cards that they added.
I mean, I don't know what bad bonus cards they added. Everything was good to me. Jack doesn't know about this. Oh, so
Yeah,
Jack,
Jack
there's
doesn't
stuff
know.
you can't get unless.
I know something.
Yeah.
I
So there
know
was
about
the
the
veterans card,
ISP.
which was like $5, I think.
Let's talk about the good one first. The first one was
Yeah.
the Firehawk cart, which I still think you can buy because they were like only the first once they sell, they were like once it's been downloaded a million times, we're gonna stop it. But it's still up,
It's a
so
veterans fundraiser
Is
thing.
that
yeah.
Yeah.
not
Let's
like
be real.
the
It's like
little?
the little buy player thing, yeah, like the
Yeah, yeah,
little
okay.
playing cart, not the neon one that they just added. The
It's the one. Yeah, it looks
older
like the-
one,
yeah.
which was that one is the one that I consider good because one, it was available in the UK. But two, it was mainly because all the money went to the COD endowment, which helps veterans get into jobs and stuff like that. It helps them once they come back from deployment. So that was a good cause. So I was like, hey, that's fair enough. I'm willing to give $5 or whatever to get a car if it's going to charity. So that's fair enough. The bad examples are
Well,
let's
what was the
let's
ISP one? That was the worst
the
one. That's
ISP one was the
Infinity?
Xfinity car,
Xfinity. Yeah, that one's so dumb.
which was awful.
And pretty
And then
much
you also had the
American
candy
based.
ones, which I would say are neutral.
They're
So you
neutral
had to
for
buy
you, not
Trident,
for
Gum, or Sour Patch Kids, and yet it was about $15 worth of candy.
yeah, and it was only available in the US.
Yeah, but I was able to go buy candy and give it to Ethan, the
And
code.
then I went to America 3 months later and found all the codes by myself as well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And then Matt was like, I can't find it. It's not anywhere. And I literally walked into the first gas station, and right there, next to the register, was just Crash Candy. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna buy him some Trident. Scan.
yeah, the hardest one was the Trident one. That was the hardest one. The fruit one, the fruit Trident. That was the
The
hardest
orange
one.
one.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah, that
hardest.
one was the hardest one for me because I went into a Rite Aid and I was able to get like 6 bags of Sour Patch Kids. They had tons of the blue and green, but those were the same code, so I didn't need to buy a bunch of blue and green. I just bought 3 of the green, and they only had 2 orange. I was like, I'm short on
Yeah.
orange.
So yeah, that was annoying. But the Xfinity cart was awful.
Yeah, that's so dumb. Like
For those that didn't know, Xfinity, it was only available for a month, and also Xfinity as a provider was not. It wasn't even just it's an American exclusive thing again. Honestly, there was so little coverage of Xfinity that it was like in like 4 states or something ridiculous. It was like, you got to be in these like half a dozen states, or you're just not going to have a chance to get it. And it was awful.
It just sucks.
Which I hate this kind of stuff that you just have no choice over. And it's like, I mean, to be honest, the Xfinity cart is a bit lame because it has like the Xfinity branding all over it and you can't customize it. So I'm like,
What's even the
so
point?
that's why I didn't. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not going to go and get this
what's
from a
even the
reseller or
point?
whatever.
Like, how much did Xfinity pay to
Too
get that
much.
added to the game? And
Too
no one
much.
can even use it except
It
for like a
reminds
few
me a
people.
lot of Mario Kart when they added the Mercedes carts, except that was good.
Oh, yeah, but you didn't have to own a Mercedes to get them.
Could you imagine?
Imagine.
Yeah, send us your license plate and we'll send you a code for the Mercedes-Benz Mario Kart deal.
Enter your license plate, and if you have a Mercedes, you can unlock
Yeah,
it.
just put your car in the game, dude. Imagine. So no, those were pretty terrible. Finally, the final thing that we're going to talk about, because we talked about the tracks during the GP stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously the final thing that when we talked about the grind during the 1% thing, so the best feature that they added in the entirety of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, it's the only one left. It's Fixed Rillaroo. What an icon, dude!
What a meme.
What an icon, dude! The fact that they said, "Oh no, we're not going to add it as a skin. We're just going to add him as a separate playable character, dude." Yeah, we're just going to fix it and add it as a new character. Great.
The first question is, how did Broken Rillaroo make it past in the first place? And then, like, all right, to fix this, instead of just fixing it, we're going to leave it in, and then we're going to add a second character called Fixed Rillaroo.
I just feel really bad for the artists, like lead artists that probably went through with that. And then they just told them this is, just straight up went, nope, this is bad, do it again.
Again. And then he's like, okay, okay.
Bad, so they added it, and then everyone on the internet just roasted them. Like, all right.
And they're just like, oh, we're just going to keep the old one in to make the B-Docs staff member feel better about themselves.
I don't know, man. That's a constant reminder.
Just get bagged on.
Yeah, but that character's still called Rillaroo, and the new one's called Fixed Rillaroo. It's not like they called the new one Rillaroo and then called the other one Jank Rillaroo.
Yeah, but it's kind of like Fake Crash going forward. You got correct Rillaroo, and then you have Beanox Rillaroo.
They should have called him Fake Rillaroo. They should have called him Fake Rillaroo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go.